6.
Thanks for being with us, friends. I'm Elizabeth Val. My partner Greg has the night off. From the WAPI team, an unnecessary strip search at the Brave Cave snowballed into a botched internal affairs investigation at Baton Rouge Police. That is according to documents we uncovered. An attorney representing a grandmother who received the strip search is demanding an apology. Tonight, the police chief says changes have been made to address what happened in this case. Our chief investigator, Chris Nakamoto, is here with more on those documents. Chris.
Good evening, Liz. Yes, those documents show sloppy and unorganized record keeping led to a clerical error, which allowed 3 Baton Rouge police officers to avoid any penalties for what they did to the grandmother. Despite an investigation looking into wrongdoing, nothing will happen to those officers due to a nuance in the rules. Lieutenant Lorenzo Coleman, Sergeant Jesse Barcelona, and Matthew Wallace got a lucky break last year when an investigation into their actions revealed allegations of conduct unbecoming in carrying out orders. It all involved a grandmother who was searched here at the Brave Cave, that off-the-books interrogation spot some Baton Rouge police officers were using until the WAFBI team exposed it.
I'm stopping this Challenger.
Police stopped the woman for illegal tint, and officers peppered her with questions about prescription pills that were in her possession.
My Adderall and my Xanax.
All right, understand.
You can't mix them, baby.
You cannot mix them.
Oh, they in the bottom. If I could pull up my Walgreens and show you my...
It don't work like that.
Turns out she had a prescription for all of them and was ultimately released after an embarrassing strip search that, according to a lawsuit, included shining a flashlight into her privates. These documents show attorneys filed an internal affairs complaint against those officers following the encounter. But when Captain Michael McCarley over internal affairs conducted an investigation, records show sloppy record keeping got in the way.
I understand that there are other procedural hiccups that have been had for me and taxpayers here in the citizen. What does it say? That the top-ranking official over this department made a clerical error.
Internal affairs documents released to the WAFBI team through a public records request showed the internal affairs captain was using sticky notes to track the investigation, which allowed important time frames to lapse. Their IA forms read this case exceeded the 75-day rule for the investigation due to clerical error. No hearing was conducted.
It reeks of unprofessionalism. It reeks of negligence. We all know sticky notes fall off, but it's what I've come to expect from some individuals from that department.
Baton Rouge Police Chief TJ Morse sat down with the I-Team Friday to address what he described as human error and a mistake by the captain tasked with investigating the officers tied to the Brave Cave. That IA investigation revealed that he was using sticky notes to calculate all of this instead of, we're in modern times. You can easily put this into a computer system. Is that concerning to you?
Yes. Part of my follow-up after learning about this and doing the investigation, we put several things into place. One being using a little more technology to calculate our 75 days. Another being a multi-factor sign-off on multiple people in internal affairs agreeing what that 75 date would be, because make sure it's not one miscounted, make sure that the start of the investigation, everybody agrees when the investigation actually started from the first time that somebody looked into it.
Morse reiterated because the investigation was not conducted within the appropriate time frame, by law he could not even look at it, effectively ending any possible discipline for the officers who were accused of acting outside the scope of the laws they swore to uphold. Do you think a letter of caution was enough for the captain in a situation like this, where you have a pretty egregious violation that was investigated on 3 other officers, and they basically get off scot-free due to a technicality? I do. When I did had a whole investigation against Captain McCarley and then gave him a chance to have a lauder-mill hearing and looking into it. He made a mistake. He made a mistake that he feels awful about. He put a lot of work into that original complaint and that original investigation. And so I did sustain the complaint against him, but at the end of the day, it was just a mistake. Tonight, Morse says although changes have been made in hopes of preventing this from happening again, that same captain remains over internal affairs. We're humans. Even though we're police officers and we hold ourselves to a higher standard, we're still humans. And Captain McCarley in this part just made a simple human mistake. This week, a federal judge signaled that woman's constitutional rights may have been violated, and he denied a request to throw out her civil suit. We reached out to her, and she did not want to come in for an interview or to be contacted at all. Tonight, her lawyer is demanding an apology from the Baton Rouge Police Department over what happened.
All the individuals who were affected by these unconstitutional acts by these officers should be given an apology, a formal apology by the city. That's not much to ask. People were wronged, children were wronged, citizens were wronged. At minimum, they should be given an apology.
The investigation that was conducted but resulted in no discipline will live in these officers' files. Tonight, the police chief apologized for the clerical mistake, but stopped short of apologizing for what happened at the Brave Cave, likely due to the pending litigation. For the WAFBI team, I'm Chris Nakamoto. Liz?
Chris, thank you for that.